Okay. So today presenting is going to be Roger Huang. He's the first vice president. He's branch manager at the East West Bank headquarters here in Pasadena. He is he's actually the account manager for Pasadena Village, so we have an account there with him. He's been in banking for 25 years. What? Yeah, over 25 years, and he works very closely with Katie. So he knows Pasadena very Village very well, and he's here to present. Yeah, I'll go ahead and pass over to him.
Thank you so much, Pablo. Can you guys hear me? Pablo, can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay, just want to make sure. Um,
Hmm.
Thank you for joining today. My name is Roger Huang, and I've been in Pasadena for probably about 20 years now. I'm originally from Michigan and New York, so I stayed here uh, for the last 20 years and not going to leave because sunny California can't beat the weather. So, um, like Pablo said, we are the account manager of Pasadena Village. I work closely with Katie Brandon, so we try to take care of all the financial services that your organization needs. And she wanted to see if there's any programs that we can try to provide to you and your organization and to help out. So hopefully this will be something that we can share with each other and hopefully learn from it and help prevent anybody from, tricking us into doing things. And there's a lot of scammers out there. They're smarter and smarter every day. It's not only for seniors, but it's for business owners. Um, Everybody they're trying to take advantage of. And I was listening earlier that somebody was saying, "Hey, they already scammed us already." So I don't know if that person would like to share and not be embarrassed of their story. So maybe we can just start off with an example from somebody before I start.
This is Betty Ann, and one example I have is Fritzi Kulik, who died right after her husband died. Somehow she got into a mix-up and somebody scammed her out of $90,000. And she figured out in the middle of it all that it was a scam. So she ran to her bank and she got all the money back. But it was a close call.
Yes, very fortunate.
I felt like maybe somebody knew her husband had died and was preying on her because she's in her 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The
I
bank.
had a situation with my business with a business scam. And it's a complicated story, but it was very slick. And it was my bank that realized something was wrong, that the I was making a deposit of several $1,000s, and they're the ones that caught it. So I ended up not losing any money, but it was very slick.
That's good to hear.
It came in through my website.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
That's good to hear. The banks tried our best to protect our clients with early fraud warning prevention, verifications. We call our clients, but we can only do so much. So we try our best, and hopefully we'll learn some things today and what we ask. Anybody else have an example?
This is Patty Lamar, and
Okay.
I escaped kind of. It was a Marriott advertisement, and it looked really real, and I didn't take the precaution to see where it really came from. And I stayed at the Marriott, and I really liked their pillowcases, so I ordered them, and then I realized this was a scam. So I, called the bank and let's see, what did I do? Well, yeah, I canceled the credit card, and so that they couldn't have access to anything else. And then I canceled the order. So I escaped, but it was like, okay, it makes me more aware now when I look at an email to make sure where it's really coming from, because usually up there in the the bar where it tells you where it's coming from, it doesn't have the correct information. So I lucked out.
Yes, Patty, that is really a good thing to look at those bars and those emails that you get. the scammers will just change one letter in the email, so it's hard to see. So always check that. That's very good idea to protect yourself. And so, like we said, it's happening to all of us. It's getting bigger and bigger. The scammers getting smarter and smarter. And according to the FBI, seniors lose over $3 billion every year to scams. So hopefully, we'll discuss a lot of different types of scams. So then at least you know, and if there's something similar, that should be a little red flag to be like, wait a second, let me hold off on this and talk to somebody about it. So we'll discuss how you can protect yourself, and because these people want to pretty much steal as much money from us as possible. So some things we're going to talk about: why seniors are targeted, red flags, common scams, and what to do if you encounter a scammer. So millions of elderly Americans fall victim to scams every year, and seniors are targeted for a variety of reasons. While not all of these reasons apply to all seniors, just being a senior is enough to make someone the target of a scammer. In any case, it's important to be aware that scammers are trying to exploit. Here are some reasons that scammers may target senior citizens. Many seniors have access to significant amount of money due to retirement funds, owning their home, or a lifetime of accrued savings. Some seniors are inexperienced with technology. Scammers take advantage of that to trick them into downloading malware or viruses. Many seniors have large extended families. This can make it harder to account for everyone at all times. That means that if a scammer claims a family member is in trouble, a senior may be more willing to believe it. Some seniors feel isolated. They may feel that they don't get to see friends often enough, that their family should contact them more, and that their situation prevents them from finding a romantic partner. Scammers manipulate these feelings to gain a senior's trust and more easily take their money. So yeah, they try to, either threaten you or say we have examples later, but want a prize or something that'll, trigger something that'll help you, make you want to convince to help them out. And you just got to be careful and see what they're really after. So scammers know that you'll see through the scam if you do your research. To prevent this, they'll pressure you to act quickly. That pressure could be positive, like a prize or a deal that you won this prize, and to collect this money, you're going to have to send me some money right now. Or a negative impact. They want to threaten you to say, hey, you're going to get arrested if you don't pay this fine. You didn't pay pay the IRS. You need to give me a credit card number right now. So always confirm the claims with an outside source before acting. Even in the bank, if a client comes in and they're pressuring and trying to push us to withdraw cash fast, it could be a fraudster. And if it's a new employee, they might not do all the regular checks if they're getting pressured by somebody. Hey, I need to go. Give me the money right now. And what if they, don't look at the ID correctly and don't see the face and it doesn't match? So when anybody ever tries to pressure me to do something in the bank, I always take it easy, take my step back, and I do more research and ask more questions so they don't rush me. So I found that to help a lot if somebody's trying to pressure you over the phone to do something, especially if they're trying to get some private information from you or get you to give them any type of money. And then one of the big red flags obviously is requesting money. If they're asking for any type of funds, then that's always a red flag. Like, why would they be requesting money from you? You should be suspicious of anybody that's asking you to send you money. And then even more so if they want you to send it in unusual ways. Scammers will usually ask for wire transfers, gift cards, or cash to prevent you or your financial institution from tracing or canceling the transaction. be extremely wary of someone who asks you for money this way, no matter what their reasons. So some people, if you did buy something, if they're trying to get you to pay them by buying gift cards instead of you sending them a normal tracking method, because gift cards, if you buy, some scammers will tell you to buy a gift card and give you the numbers on the back, all the codes, so they can just go ahead and go online or go to the store and just use those funds immediately. It's not like a credit card or a debit card where you can still refute that or file a claim at your bank or credit card company to try to get that money back. So that's kind of a weird one. Another one is, yes, if they actually tell you to go withdraw cash, they might tell you to withdraw cash and mail it to them. And we should know that we shouldn't mail cash in the mail either in case anything gets lost. So always these interesting ways that they want you to send the money, because the more legitimate ways are going to be the normal ways. They say wire transfers here. It's because a lot of the larger amounts, the scammers are tricking people to send money by wire transfer, because then they could be sending hundreds of thousands of dollars. It could be millions instead of just gift card methods, which is, usually there's a limit of how large of a gift card that can be. So the wire transfers on the larger scale, the scammers are intercepting emails where, let's say you're buying a house and then they intercept your email beforehand and they tell you to send your down payment into a new account, they tell you. So that one, our clients have been scammed before, and sometimes it doesn't go through the bank and people can use online ways to wire money. And it's just tough, because that's why that client of ours who had that issue, that escrow company, that email was off by a couple letters. So they unfortunately sent the money out, and it's forward escrow, so it's larger amounts, and that's why it's hard to get the money back once you send it out. So the way that the bank now is starting to protect our clients, if you send a wire out and it looks out of normal, we're going to call our clients to ask you if you spoke to the beneficiary, the person who's going to receive the money. If you actually spoke to them and you know them, that you didn't just get an email from them, you didn't get the bank information by text or other methods, that you actually spoke to them and they confirmed that. So that's something that we've added extra, because the original method to verify or to help our clients was, I would ask you, are you sure this information is correct? But then for you are sure you got it from a source, but then now we're asking you, make sure you got it from the right person that you're supposed to send it to. So yeah, in case that hacker got through their phone and they're texting you the wrong info, fraudulent info, and if they broke into their email too. So that's the extra step we're asking. Some clients, honestly, they will say, I don't want to call I don't want to call the beneficiary. So we do have to warn them that, yeah, we're just trying to protect your funds. Please just reach out. And normally they'll hang up and say, they'll tell, okay, well, I'm going to call you right back before I let you send this money out. So then they make a phone call to the beneficiary, then it all works out. But there are people that, they understand time is valuable too, and they don't want to check. But yeah, this is the new way that we're trying to help our clients protect their money when somebody's trying to steal it. Another way, scammers try to collect sensitive information so they can steal your identity or access your accounts. Be wary of anyone who asks for passwords or social security and account numbers. Legitimate companies will almost never ask for this data. If they do, they should give you a secure way to send it. Anybody have any questions about these red flags right now? So pressure to act quickly. Oh, go ahead,
Roger.
Patty. Hi.
So, this is Susan.
Hi, Susan.
Roger, you say if be suspicious if anybody asks you for your account number, or what was the other thing?
Social security number,
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay.
passwords. Mhm.
That's right, you're right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
This is Patty.
Hey, Patty.
If we're going to be rebuilding, I mean, what kind of scams should we look out for, other, like you just mentioned, the escrow and that type of thing?
If it's but we're talking about the bank,
Well,
the financial scams, right?
yes,
Okay, because yeah, I hope there's no I hope all the builders out there and contractors are gonna be the
We
good
just,
ones.
yeah, we just met with our architect today and he again stressed there is so much scamming going on in the rebuild areas. And fortunately, we're working tightly with him through the American Institute of Architecture. And yeah, it's just everywhere. But I wanted to add that not only social security numbers and account numbers, but I got caught up in something because and it was a nonprofit that I got through the village. And they wanted and it was a legitimate nonprofit, but they wanted my my Medicare number. And that is I didn't realize that is another number you do not give out. And that's another complicated story. It did get resolved, but I had to ended up having to report them to Social Security and also to the Inspector General.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, because I always thought, well, Medicare number, that's a special number, so you don't have to give up your Social Security number. But that itself is very sensitive information.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so these are everybody here is in Altadena. They're trying to help all these scammers. So just be wary, look them up online. If most of these people need licenses to do their job, the construction, the contractors, yeah. So try not to be taken advantage of. And
Check
in
out
that
everything.
sense too. Yeah. So the other thing too is now that the bank is trying to protect you, if you use any online services or mobile apps, they will usually send a 6-digit code to your phone to confirm that that's you. Because when you're logging in on the computer, and then they'll say, okay, we're going to send you a code so we know it's you. And it goes into your phone, and then you can type in the 6-digit code. So that should normally match to you. The fraudsters, what they'll do is they'll pretend to be the bank, and they will be trying to access your account online. They're trying to reset your password. And so they will pretend to say, I'm going to send you a 6-digit code and ask you, okay, I just sent you a 6-digit code. Please give that to me when you receive it on your phone. So don't fall for that one, because most companies now, they will not ask you for a 6-digit code unless you call them and that's a valid number. Then they'll ask, and those times should be okay. But if I call you and I say, hey, I just want to make sure it's you, and I'm going to send you a 6-digit code, I could be the fraudster trying to reset your password online. And if you give me your 6-digit code, I'm going to be able to reset your password and go into your account. And then I can send all the money out. So be careful of that too. It doesn't have to be a password or a social security or account numbers. Now they're trying to trick you on all these ways that the bank is trying to protect you. They're trying to get around it. So hopefully that hasn't happened to anybody yet.
Sure. I'm not sure. Can you explain that 6-digit code? I mean,
Yes.
somebody not the bank calls and explain how that happens. I don't understand that.
Okay, so it's usually going to be a financial institution, like a brokerage account. It could be like a medical, yeah, which still has some money, like a health savings accounts, and just a lot of online logins have this extra protection. So if you're logging in from not a home computer that they know, because they can check the computer you're logging in from. So let's say you're not logging in from your typical computer. They will normally say, hey, can you verify your identity? They might send you an email. They might send you a text message, or tell you like, we can call you with the code. And then that way you can type that into online so you can get access to it. Have you done that before?
Oh, yeah, many times with people that I know, but yeah, I'm not quite getting this, but that's okay.
Okay. Well, if somebody calls you and they want to verify you and say, is this Susan? Then I'm going to send you a 6-digit code. You tell me the code when you get it. That should be a red flag if I'm asking for that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Because if I called you, so you always got to be on the lookout. If I'm a scammer, I'm calling you, and the scammer can actually fake phone numbers. So they can actually make it look like East West Bank is calling you or the other bank.
Oh, so
And
this
they're
is
not.
like if I'm talking to East West or if I'm emailing them and they send me a code, somebody's intercepted that email. Is that what you're saying? And
That
that's
could,
why they're calling.
yeah, that could be too. Yes, yes.
Okay.
But always watch out. Always be careful of who initiated the contact.
Uh-huh.
And if they're the one, if somebody else initiated the contact, and then we're asking you for information, that should be a big red flag right there. You should just say, hey, let me, if you bank with that person, then just say, hey, let me call my regular person that I bank. So Katie will hang up and she'll call me and text me directly. Hey, Roger, did you just call me? Right? Did somebody just call me? I can research that and see if anybody from the whole bank was trying to call her. And then she can feel more comfortable too, that, oh, it is a normal bank reach out. Mhm.
Thanks. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then a lot of technology scams. Anybody know what phishing is? Spelled with a P, PH?
Isn't that like through Facebook where you pretend to be somebody you're not?
Yeah, that's one type.
And,
So it's not, yep, it's not going, yeah, go ahead.
or if someone is trying to get information from you, through the email, or usually that's where I see it happen, is that there's a lot of fake stuff out there, and you
Oh,
just
yeah.
have to be aware.
Exactly. So scammer pretends to be someone they aren't,
Mm.
usually a familiar company or personal friend. They ask the victim for sensitive information or tell them to click a link that downloads a virus to their device. Phishing can take many forms, including emails, texts, even fake websites. Scammers take great care to make their message seem legitimate. Does most people have iPhones?
Yes.
Me too. I there's a thing where I get these phishing text messages. So if I know it's a scammer or just a spammer like trying to send me junk text, if you swipe like I think to the right, to the left, and to delete it, it tells you, do you want to also like kind of block that number to report it as spam? I'm sure the other phones do it too now, but that's one way. Instead of just deleting it, report it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have an Android, and I fortunately, I don't get a lot of those, but a couple of them ask me, is this spam? Or do I want to
Yes,
report it?
that's good. Yeah, just report it. Please report it.
I'm curious, when you report it, how effective are they once it's reported? Because it seems like this stuff just keeps growing. I mean, is there ever, I mean, do they have any success in catching these guys?
Oh,
A lot of times, these fraudsters can't catch them because it could be all over the world.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it is tough, but we do what we can to prevent. And we do these trainings, and we just talk to our clients face to face. when we see something that's suspicious, we just try to tell them, wait a second, maybe you shouldn't do that, right? Or I just ask, can you tell me more? How did you get this request? You'll then the person will explain more. Oh, I got an email. Oh, I got a letter in the mail that I don't know who it's from, but they're paying me money and they want me to deposit this check. And then after I deposit the check, they want part of the money back because they gave me too much money. So a lot of these job scams go on too.
Right.
So you just have to ask them who would honestly give you a check for
too
thousands
much,
of dollars
just to get some of
Yes,
it back. Yeah.
exactly. So sometimes if it's too good to be true, it probably is. So reach out and share it. Tell your banker. If sometimes when I've had clients who came in and if I don't talk to them about it and they deposit it, so they just want to, everybody wants to have their privacy. But then the bank could also think, what if you are the scammer? What if you are trying to deposit a check and it's bad, but you withdraw the money before it clears? So other fraudsters in the bank do that too. They try to open an account, deposit a check, and before the check gets bounced back, they withdraw the funds. So that's another scammer. So now who's the victim? So we don't want to, maybe sometimes our clients are the victim because they got the check in the mail, but sometimes the fraudster is the actual person depositing a bad check. So, we just try to help our clients who are victims as much as we can. And the fraudsters, we try to, call the cops on them. So that's malware or ransomware. So sometimes if we click these links on the email or open the email or click the links on our phone, we might get a virus and we might not be able to use our phone. And then they start stealing all of our information on our phone. Or some of it, the ransomware is where they steal all your information and then they ask you for money in order to give it back to you. I've had clients who own diamond jewelry business or precious stones, and he had to pay them a lot of money. This was 10 years ago, but he's had to pay a lot of money to get his information back, and there's nothing he could do about it. It's sad. But it was a different bank, but still, it's that client's business, and he's been in business a long time. And he told me that they stole all of their client information and everything, and he needed it back. So it's a regulated business, and you hear stories of all these ransomwares. You don't want to pay the ransom, right? You're not supposed to, but sometimes they get away with it because that information is important. Malware will just mess up your phone and steal just information. It could steal the passwords on your phone. So it could steal your login IDs and just find out what you're looking at and track you. But basically, if you don't know where it's coming from, don't click on it. Don't click on it.
Do you think that are Apple's iPhones somewhat protected from this or not really?
I hear that they were stronger than the other phones, but then now after so many years, I always try to be as careful as possible. I try not to click on these extra text messages that I'm getting all the time. I try not to, the phone calls, I try not to talk on the phone when it's what's that called? A spam call?
Spam risk.
Yeah.
Spammers, calling. I don't want them to record my voice. I don't know. We're getting to another age of artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And people faking voices and videos. So who knows what they can do? Just if you don't know them, just hang up. Don't answer. I'm sure they're going to
leave it out. Leave it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Years ago, my I called my sister-in-law and she had gotten one of those things from Microsoft that said you need to call in because of some problem. And I told her to hang up right away because I knew it was a scam. And she did, thank goodness. But her tech guy had to go in and fix things because and I still get those once in a while where they say you're locked up and I just shut it down.
Good.
If they
Good.
tell you not to shut your computer off, then you know you need to.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. This is Susan. I've had those malwares where I'm totally an Apple person. So I was on my iMac and I don't know what I clicked on, but all of a sudden this message came up, you're infected with a virus, and it flashed. I couldn't get it off and call this number. Well, I knew this probably wasn't right. So I called Apple support and they helped me. They confirmed that this wasn't really malware, it was a scam, and they helped me remove it. And they went through my entire computer with me to make sure that there was no viruses and it was clear. And so if that ever happens to you where it just keeps flashing, you've been invaded or whatever with a virus, just call your provider. And Apple was very, very helpful.
Apple's great.
Mhm. Yes, always have your own way to find that number to call. Don't rely on the scammer giving it to you. You don't know they're the scammer at the time. But yeah, just you know you can find Apple, you can find the phone number and their tech support
Right.
yourself, and then now you know you're getting it straight from the source and they can
Right.
help you. Mhm.
Right. I actually
but-
went on another device, got their number, called them,
Oh,
and
smart.
believe it or not, I got like almost instant help. It didn't, like, sometimes you have to wait and wait and wait, but I got very quick help.
But what
Yeah.
I did one time is I knew it was a scam. So I Googled calling Apple and I didn't realize the top one that came up was the scammer rather than looking down to where it's really Apple. So by mistake, I called the scammer back and let them take over my computer. It was a disaster. But luckily I got out of it somehow.
Yes.
But you have to be careful when you Google something that it's what you were looking for and not an advertisement at the top.
Yep.
Well, I got lucky. Matter of fact, that reminds me, I'm going to put that real Apple phone number in a place where I can locate it quickly.
Mhm. So let's see, tech support, and we got that. What we got next? No, we got here. You tech support and antivirus scams is just like what you said. It looks like a virus coming up and it's flashing. Sometimes maybe you just have to close that box because it's just a scam app that wants you to click on some more stuff. So yeah, try to not let anybody access your computer unless you know who you're talking to. But yeah, like you said, just hang up and you can find your own tech support. There's a lot of free antivirus software programs out there, so that's always a good help too. So you can always run that every so often to download it for free and then just get the updates for free and just run it through your computer to make sure you don't have any viruses on there. Lottery prize scams and investment scams. So the lottery prize or the prize scam is the victim receives an email, call, or text that says they won a prize. Often it's a cash award or luxurious vacation, and they only need to pay taxes or a processing fee in order to receive it. This scam may even come with a check which eventually bounces once the victim deposits it. But by then, the scammer is long gone with the victim's money. If the sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And if you didn't enter a giveaway, there's no way that you could have won. And most of the time, too, is most prizes will not, but all prizes, they're not going to say you won a prize, but tell you to give them money first. So and they make it really enticing. It's going to be millions of dollars. You just have to give me 1%, $1 million. And then I just need a processing fee of 1%, which is $10,000. Then you're thinking, wow, I only need to give 10,000 for 1%. Maybe I can get that money, but there's not going to be, nobody does that. When you win a prize, you're going to win that prize and you're going to get a 1099 and you're going to pay taxes on it. So just don't get tricked into that. A lot of people, like they said, they'll just send a check to you. They won't even talk to you. They'll just send a check. Maybe there's instructions there. Maybe they'll follow up with you later. So they'll send that $5,000 check and they'll follow up with you later after you deposit it and say, oh, I sent you a check. Can you send me my money back? The reason why this is, they're taking advantage of your good credit at your bank. If you deposit a check for $5,000, you might have a short hold time on that check. So you might have availability to access the $5,000, but the check hasn't bounced yet. It might take, it's fast now to bounce, but it might take, days, a week, and up to 30 days. But it used to be really, really slow. But now it's faster, but still it could bounce at a much later date. And if you have good credit at your bank, they might give you access to 5,000. And if you withdraw that money and give it to the fraudster and it bounces afterwards, you're still on the hook for that money. So don't get taken advantage of by that. Investment scams. Scammers offer investment opportunities that are far more risky than they let on. Thieves may also claim to be financial advisors, and once they have access to the victim's account, they steal their money rather than investing it. So only seek out legitimate, verified advisors or do research into stocks yourself. Don't trust someone who approaches you claiming to have a deal. So they do a lot of social, like tricks on a group where they will tell you like, hey, they start being your friend and they say, I made all this money on this certain thing, like a Bitcoin or whatever new fad is out there. And they start bragging about it. And then they ask you, do you want to get into it? They tell you to put some money into it. And then if you put some money into it, maybe in the beginning, they'll say, oh yeah, your money just doubled. Something outrageous, right? Something like amazing. And then you think, oh, I'm going to put more money into it and more money into it. And then if you want to get some money out, they say, oh, don't take it out. Or it just, after a while, when you can't get the money out, they're just like, oh, there is no money to begin with. They already took it from before. So there are fraudsters that pretend to give investment advice and try to have you, sign up for, fake type of brokerage accounts, but maybe they call them foreign currency accounts, FX accounts, the digital coin accounts, but any type of that investment stuff, like scams, if it sounds too good, maybe you should go to somebody that you trust, like the bank, an attorney, just some friend, and just say, check out stuff, because they do fake websites too. So even if that website looks decent, it might not really work in the background. Okay. When you log in the bank, they have a lot of things in there, but sometimes they just make a fake front website. Maybe you can log in, maybe you can do some certain things, but they might make it look as if you have that money in there and you really don't. So really do the research if it's somebody trying to sell you an investment that you haven't really heard of.
I've got a question. Whoops, do I have my thing on? Yeah,
Yeah,
I've got
I
a
do.
question, Susan, again. I had a friend that I was at their house one time and they says, oh, I've got to answer Social Security. They need some information. And I said, oh, I wouldn't give my Social Security number. And he said, oh, well, no, it's them. And so I went online and it said Social Security will never contact you by email. What are the other places that will never contact you by email?
IRS. I mean, we will, yes, IRS. I think we're going to get to it because we're not going to, if we do call, we're not going to ask those questions. We won't ask you for your full social.
No,
Like the
I mean,
bank.
so what are the other things you should never you should be, that the people like IRS, Social Security says they will never like contact you by email to ask you a question. And somebody just said IRS, is that the same way?
Yeah, that's right. IRS will only do letters.
Okay, do you know any other agencies that will never contact you by email?
Let's see if Medicare. No, Medicare will only call you if you are a member of a drug plan and already agreed to be called.
Mhm.
So Medicare won't call you.
Okay,
Mhm.
But yeah,
I don't-
IRS. And then like if they call you, they won't ask you for the full. Most people won't ask for the full social. So always like if you're receiving the call, you have to have really heightened awareness of don't give out any information if you're receiving it. But if you called them, you should be ready to tell the bank, me, hey, here's my social because I won't know anything about you unless you tell me something. So now I'm on the protecting end. I don't want to give out any of my East West Bank client information because a lot of scammers call in and try to just use a name.
Right.
So if they don't have an account number, we have names that are spelled the same. We have a lot of things that it's hard to look at, find that account. And so the easiest one for me is if you are the person you are, you should be willing to provide your account number or your social right away. And then that way I can look it up right away. I will ask many supporting questions to make sure it's you. I don't ask the more easy questions now. Nowadays, through social media, you guys, there might be like all this family tree that goes around, and mother's maiden name might not be as secure anymore.
Yeah, the question that I've been asked is, who is your beneficiary? Well, I have 3 beneficiaries, so I can just name them off. But that would be a hard question for most people to answer if they weren't legit.
That's right. So just change those around. We have another place that we can say password, like a secret code word. So if your account was compromised and you're like, hey, I need some more protection than just the normal stuff. And I ask other things too. So I'll ask recent transactions. I'll ask, where did you open the account? Anybody else on the account? You probably heard that.
Yeah.
So we try to get as much details as possible so then I can make sure it is you.
And I appreciate that. That's for my protection that they're asking me that.
Yes. It's just sometimes I do have clients who forgot some passwords and they're like, uh-oh. What password? And then but yeah, we're able to find another way if they're on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm always very cautious when it's a phone call because it could be anybody pretending to be you.
Yeah.
That happened to my girlfriend just recently. Someone called in with, I guess they got her account number and wanted to know more information about the account. But the person at the bank caught it and called her, but she ended up having to change her account number, which, because of this person that got the account number, that was with a credit union. With my credit union, when I do a transaction, they ask for a password because years ago I had someone try to take a check and change the amount. So I have a password and that makes me feel good.
Yeah. A friend of mine gave me a pen recently that if you write checks, they can't change the checks if they get it in the mail. It's a special ink.
Security pen, yeah.
Yeah, and I also never put mail ever in a mailbox. I put it directly into the post office.
Good idea.
It's a great idea unless you're blind and can't get to the post office. When I lived in Altadena, I had a mailman who I just handed the mail to him, and I never had a problem. And my mailbox was also set back quite a ways from the street. It wasn't an easy mailbox to dip into. But Yeah, I've had really good luck with the mail, and I rely on the mail because I don't drive and I live where there isn't a bus. So
But
it
you
works
do
out.
have to be really careful because I had a friend in Tahunga who mailed a personal check and also a check from the Quaker meeting because she was our treasurer. And both checks were stolen in the mail and the amounts were changed and they deposited them at the bank. But the bank picked up that it might be a problem, luckily,
Oh,
because they had changed the amount on them. And
Yeah,
they had
so
changed.
we do try our best, especially business accounts. They can offer a fraud protection service. It's called Positive Pay. It's Positive Pay for checks or Positive Pay for ACH, electronic debits. The ones for checks, they match for the check number, the dollar amount, the payee name. We'll have like your signatures, of course, on file. So that one's a little bit easier if you already pay for the service. Some people don't pay for the service right away, and
Yeah.
after the fraud happens, then they will pay for the service. Um, but yeah, even before that, like you said, the banks, if it's whatever, it just seems suspicious. They'll send me an email and to ask me to call my client to see if they wrote that check for whatever thousands of dollars. And like you said, if they washed it, then we have a chance to stop it. But
Yeah.
still, the account is compromised, so we have to decide what we want to do afterwards, either close it or sign up for the business accounts can sign up for those services. But yeah, got to
In this,
be careful of the
yeah.
mail and check.
I mail it at the post office if I mail it right outside with one of those things which has a very narrow slot. But otherwise, I never use just any old postal box.
Yeah.
So next we have the IRS scams. We're talking about that, so we'll go to they're either going to claim that they're from IRS or they're collecting debt. They might even reach out to the family members of someone who passed away recently and say that they are now liable for the debt. The IRS will never call you to collect. Situations where someone is held liable for a family member's debt are very rare. You can send a debt validation letter to find out. So, yeah, so don't fall for those debt collector scams, and IRS is not going to call you to collect on debt. Medicare scams. So they gonna ask for victim sensitive information and uses it to bill Medicare for services never provided. Oh, I think that's where was that Karen?
yeah,
They got
yeah.
your Medicare number or one
It
of those.
was, and it was a legitimate nonprofit, but it had actually Wayne April did the research on it. It had a very marginal rating, and who would know? Except I suddenly thought, why did they want my Medicare number? And I was bombarded with calls for all kinds of things after that. But boy, I'll tell you, when I called Medicare, they were on it immediately and said, you need to also report this to the Inspector General, which I did. I mean, they were like on it immediately because that is a huge problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I did until that happened, I didn't realize. I knew my Social Security number was highly sensitive, but I didn't realize the same is true of your Medicare number.
Mm-hmm. And earlier we said that Medicare will only call you if you're a member of a drug plan and already agreed to be called. The original agent who helped you needs something or you left them a message. So,
Yeah.
Affinity fraud. A dishonest person plays on somebody's affiliation with a group, such as a religious congregation or alumni association, as a way to get money or information. The scammer may be an actual member of the group, even someone intended or even someone the intended victim knows or likes or just pretend to be. No matter who the person is on the other end of the line is or claims to be, practice caution when giving up money or information. It's best to support groups through official channels.
And legitimate organizations, legitimate people understand that. They're not offended by it.
Yes.
And if they are, that's on them.
Yeah. And we have a lot, I believe we have the most nonprofits here in Pasadena. So we can reach out to them directly. They don't have to call us, or we just call them back. We find their number and call them back.
Yeah.
Relationship scams, grandparent scams. The victim receives a call, email, or message on social media from someone impersonating a loved one, usually a grandchild. The imposter claims that they're in some kind of trouble and asks for money. Always contact the person asking for help in another way or reach out to another family member to confirm. Even if the person claims they are embarrassed or don't want anyone to know, it's better to be sure you aren't getting scammed. Romantic scams. A con artist deceitfully forms a relationship online, often to the point that the victim considers them to be a romantic partner. The scammer then asks for money in a lump sum or smaller amounts over a longer period of time. Usually, they claim this money will be used to support them, cover an emergency expense, or pay for them to travel. While the internet can be a great way to meet new people, it's also extremely easy for people to claim to be someone that they're not. You should do all you can to confirm a person's identity when talking with them, and talk to friends or family if you are suspicious. And this isn't just for this romantic scams, it's for every age, because now that you can meet people online on apps, you chat with them, and if they start asking you for money over the chat, the texting, if they start asking you to send and give you private information, then you already know, like, oh, that should be a red flag. Stop talking to this person. Let's get some more. Let's get some more information about them. Are you meeting them? You know, if you meet them in person, have them meet some of your friends and family if they are in person. So these scammers, these romantic scams happen to anybody at any age. So always be careful. If you're contacted by scammer, ignore them and report them. So on the text message, swipe, and then don't just delete, report at the same time. And Karen had called the police on them and reported them also to other agencies. Don't answer those calls. Just delete the emails. And if the site doesn't look legitimate, just get out of it. You can also report to the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, or FBI to help stop them from reaching out. There are websites where you can send your reports and your police reports too. So there's a lot of help online.
One thing that's helped me tremendously is I just got a couple of new phones, and they tell me if it's a suspected scammer. And
Yes,
I would say 9 out of 10 calls are scammers, and I never pick it up, and they never leave a message, so you know that they're really a scammer. That's saved me a lot of aggravation.
that's good. I do the same thing. If you ever sent money to someone you believe is a scammer, it's best to act as soon as possible. Cancel the card, tell your financial institution. And if you believe your account number has been stolen, please explain the situation and call the police. If the scammer has your sensitive information, like your social security number, you can go to identitytheft.gov to learn what to do next. But yeah, was it Patty? You with the debit card purchase or credit card purchase, calling them right away to stop it. But yeah,
Yes,
if you
that
kind of
was-
have that, okay,
that
yeah,
was
if you have
key.
that feeling, did the right thing. Just cancel it. You can always buy it again. But if there's
Yeah,
something suspicious, whoa, it's better to get that done before all these charges start going on your card, and then you have to deal with, more frustration. If it comes from a debit card, so I don't know if you don't have a credit card, if it comes from a debit card, then sometimes the funds won't be put back right away too. So, you got to be careful too. If you have a credit card, at least it might be just using the credit card company's funds for a while instead of them trying to take directly from your checking account. So there's some different times to use your cards.
You know, I lost my debit card This is several years ago, and I lost it on a Friday night. Apparently, I had dropped it in a parking structure in Old Town. And then it was until late Saturday night when I was at a concert at Caltech, wanted to buy some CDs, that I discovered it was gone. And I didn't worry about it. I thought, oh, it's probably in the console in the car. But then it bothered me, and I ended up leaving the concert early, and it wasn't in the console. And when I got home, I couldn't find it anywhere. So I called and reported it lost. And I was told that keeping too much money in your checking account, if you lose your debit card, if they can get into your account, you're out the money if they get it. But if you transfer your money from your checking and put it in your savings right away, they can't dump your savings, but they can dump your checking account if they get your debit card. So I've always been very conscious of not having very much money in my checking account. But you know, when pension checks come in and Social Security, and you know, all of a sudden you've got this high balance, you need to pay attention to it so that I just don't even carry my debit card anymore. I just use my credit card.
Yeah, that's true. That's recommended. So it purchases from that debit card aren't linked to the savings. And then that way it'll just pull from there.
Right. They can get it out of your checking, but they can't get it out of your savings.
Correct. The other thing cards now have, and if you use the mobile app, you can block the card right away on the mobile app. It'll let you block it. So you don't have to find the phone number if you lost the card and then call and then lose some time. Usually the app has your card. It shows like a electronic debit card, and you click on it and it'll say if you want to freeze that card. So that's kind of neat that they allowed us to do instant blocking of the card if we kind of misplace it for a little bit.
Yeah, actually, the happy ending of this was that the person who found my debit card turned it in. I mean, we always think the worst of people, but most people are good people, and they will find something like that and they'll turn it in. It was a Citibank card, and they took it to the Citibank that was nearest where I dropped it. And of course, I'd already, changed cards and everything, but it was really nice to know that somebody found it and turned it in. And I think most of us would do the right thing.
Right.
But you can't wait around to find out. And it was the weekend, and I thought, no, I'm not waiting until Monday.
So that's the end of the presentation. If anybody has any other scams that they heard of that they want to share so we can help each other out, then, or any other questions you might have, hopefully I can answer them or get back with you.
Yes, would you repeat again how you block your debit card?
So usually on your app, or online, you can look at your account, and now the cards should be there and you have access to look at the details. Okay. So instead of calling the bank, you should be able to just do it right away online. So it might be faster.
Right.
So they started doing that with a lot of credit cards. So we have it here, and I see it in all of my other cards that I have.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was a great presentation.
Thanks for sharing, everybody, everything. I mean, you guys made it great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Any comments on from anyone?
Just thank you for a great presentation.
Oh, go once, go twice. All right.
Oh.
So in that case, I'm going to stop the recording right here after thanking Roger so much for taking time out of his day to present for all of us. I thought it was especially great how you were able to provide kind of the bank's perspective on these kind of scams and give us a point of view from there, because I think it helps us kind of think through the logic of like, why are they asking me for this? What should I be asking them for? So I think that's very insightful. Thank you. And
Thanks so
stop the
much.
recording there.
Thank you all for joining.